Today is all about momentum, structure, and plan for the rest of 2025. Q4 reset. We are doing it completely different here because we just talked about the great lock-in. And today we're going to really be talking about that discipline journey, that challenge I'm setting myself, and how I'm really going to embody her. But don't forget to check out my great lock-in because I talked about how to shed and let go of things, do a life audit, and plant new seeds to get yourself ready for this reset and this challenge. But today I really want to talk about the momentum, structure, and plan and action steps that I'm going to take over the next 75 days because we are less than 90 days away from 2026. That's crazy to say, but it's true. We need to create the momentum, we need to plan the structure, and then really start taking the action to make it possible. So welcome back to Balance While Blooming. My name is Bridget. I'm 27 years old. I'm a wife, a stepmom, and I balance my 9 to 5 with my passions, and I'm blooming into my purpose and the person that I want to become. Here, I share all the ways for you to believe in yourself, for you to build the life of your dreams, and start balancing not only who you are, but who you want to become by blooming daily. It's really important that you understand kind of these life structures and the ways that we are walking into a new season and new chapter. And here I really welcome you to join this community because 2026 is going to be huge, and you want to start now getting ahead for that new year, that new energy, and creating that momentum so that you are ready for that shift, that energy, and that power that comes with starting a new year. But why not start now, get ahead, know what you need to do, and really start figuring out that structure, consistency, and habits that you want to create. First things first is, what do we mean by momentum? By starting now, you are going to create this ebbs and flows. It's going to be hard, it's going to be challenging, but you know that you have all this time. You have 90 days. I'm pushing myself 75 out of 90 days. So that gives me about a 15-ish day grace period where I can miss a few, skip a few, and not worry about everything. And I also am giving myself grace that I don't need to do everything on the daily list for it to be a positive day. I'm not doing anything like 75 hard or anything like that. I just need to show up for each one of those habits for 75 days. So that means one day I might forget my nighttime stuff, or one day I may forget a few of my daily things or fall off track, but I did all my morning things, did all my night things, and did everything else. That's a check for everything else. It's creating these habits, and that's the structure that I am creating. The structure for you could be a 30-day challenge, a 60-day challenge, or you can run with me for a 75-day challenge. Now, you can do something that is very structured, like 75 hard, where if you fall off, you have to start over again. You really need to see how many times you need to start over before the new year. I'm not like that. I like to have that balance of giving myself grace and letting myself be pushed and doing it my own way. And then with the plan and the structure is that you don't miss anything because it's less choices. You know the things that you need to do, the habits that you need to create, and it's all with intention. So if you miss more than one day, you're going to fall off consistency. So part of my structure and my challenge is that I cannot miss any single task for more than one day. And then my plan is to make it feel like it's my purpose, that it's with intention, and that I know that I can succeed, and that it's my own choice, that I have set myself up for success. I am preparing myself, and I've planned for this to all work out. Now, when you are creating your challenge, if you are going to follow a challenge like mine, I want you to think about your areas of life. And I'm going to run through my areas of life in a minute. But when you are thinking about the momentum you want to create, this is the habits, the routines, and the systems that you are structuring. And then the plan is that it follows a purpose or a bigger meaning than yourself that you can show up for daily, and that you know that as this starts becoming more automatic throughout the next 90 days, that you can start showing up as this best person, and the momentum is going to be created. And the momentum and excitement that you have now to start this challenge, try to keep up with why you even wanted to start this. Why did you want to do it? So for me, my areas of life, I'm hitting a lot of them, which I'll talk about the challenge in a minute and that's going to be majority of this video of why I'm choosing these things for me. But my areas of life are time, which is how I plan, how I set my days up for success, how I show up, and where I'm really prioritizing my time, my energy, and my effort. Health and wellness, taking care of my mind, my body, my soul. Family and home, that is my relationships with not only my husband, but with my stepson and our family and those traditions, but also keeping up on my home, the house that I live in, the place that I put my time and energy into, and where I feel should be my safe spot. Then work, business, and passion project. For me, this is all balance while blooming, but for some people, this can be their career. This can be something else that they've created. Finances, this is anything money related or investment related, anything like that. Personal development is internally growing, evolving, and changing, and stepping out of that comfort zone and really pushing yourself to become next level. Your spiritual and faith, this is anything outside of yourself. Maybe something that you dedicate time for, you volunteer, or your faith. That is up to you. Travel and adventure, this is very important. We just kind of went through that season of life, so we're not going to be focusing a lot on that. But if that is something for you throughout the holidays that you like to travel and adventure, please put time into that. And then for social and fun, this is your friendships, this is your hobbies, and these are the things that give you joy and excitement in life. So doing a big overview based off everything I have here, the only things I've really missed are passion projects, which those are very high up on my priority list for other things that aren't in this challenge, so I didn't put it in, and finances and spiritual, faith, and travel. So that means about half of them are in here in some sort of way, and that is so important to me. My challenge is going to look different. I have weekly, this needs to be hit 10 times over the next 75 days, and then I have daily, morning, and night. So daily are things that I have to do every single day, and then I have things that I want to focus on in the morning and things that I focus on at night. And I am going to give myself grace if there are things that I have more time in the morning or have less time at night, and that's where I'm finding this balanced 75 where I am really deciding how I am going to prep and plan for success, and that is that I'm giving myself grace that as long as it gets done throughout the day, of course I'm trying to create the habit and the routine and the system to be either in the morning or at night, but that does not mean that that is what has to happen. And I want to know what you guys are planning to do with your Q4 reset. How are you creating momentum? What type of structure are you setting? And how are you planning for success so that by the time 2026 comes, that you have these systems, habits, and routines all set up and ready for you because you've created the momentum and the time now for you to show up as your best self. I would really love to be accountability partners. Would really love for us to come together and decide how we are going to show up as our best self. And remember, we are all on our own journey, on our own path. Create your own system. You can follow me as a template and you can kind of see how I'm doing this, but make it your own because we are all chasing different goals. We are all leveling up in different ways, and my 3-year journey has nothing to do with you starting day 1, day 100. You know what I mean? You need to make it yours and for you, and you need to bloom into your best self, not who I'm becoming. This is what aligns with my life. I want to know what aligns with your life. Okay, so I have it all up here. I want to weekly have 3 items. The first item is a solo date. Solo date means doing something for me. This can be a self-care day. This can be a slump day. It can be window shopping, going to a coffee shop, doing something for my passion project, doing something fully for Balance While Blooming. It is a day that I get to choose what I want to do for a couple hours, and it's a date by myself. I don't need to check in with anyone. I'm prepping it for the week. I'm planning it for the week so that everyone in my life knows that this is my date time. Don't bother me. I am by myself. Next is a date night with my husband. This is in or out, creative or simple. We don't need to spend a lot of money, but I do want to be intentional as we have a lot going on with the holidays and with all of our goals and our dreams and the way that our life is going with sports and adventures and so much as a family. I don't want to forget our relationship. I don't want to forget spending time and having that quality time together. And then lastly is meal prep. When we go shopping, we meal plan. And then the new thing is I want to not only have a weekly plan of our meals, I want to have 2 to 3 meals prepped or cooked or thawed and ready to be cooked so that we have options, but we know exactly. So we're not like, oh, I don't want that tonight, let's go out and spend money. So it's kind of helping with not only our finances, but also our time and energy. So if tonight we don't have time to cook that chicken, we may have time to make that pizza, or we have time to just cook that pasta, whatever it may be. Kind of having the options, because we like that balance. We like having the options, but also having structure of not going out and spending more money and wasting food. Now for daily, these things are things that I think I will be able to hit every single day for 90 days pretty much. And this is a very balanced section where, first off, no snooze. What does this mean? I set my alarm for 3 a.m. I can hit snooze on that, but my goal is to get up at 3 a.m. But I also have my main alarm at 3:30. So if I sleep through my 3 a.m., 3:30 is the cutoff that I cannot snooze anymore. But a big part of this no snooze is no slumping or on social media till 4 a.m. So that gives me 30 minutes to an hour to not just sit in bed and be productive and do something else in the morning, because typically I will get up and just start scrolling or listening to an audiobook or just playing a game on my phone. And I'm not against any of that, kind of waking up my brain, but I do want to start being more productive in the morning, even if it's not productive. Next is tidy home cleanup. This is how I'm going to stay on top of laundry, how I'm going to stay on top of clutter, how I'm going to organize a little bit, because we've fallen off track on the second half of this year of doing one deep clean of one room in our house. So getting back on track with that is staying on top of our laundry, staying on top of our clutter, and making sure that our house is tidy, maybe not clean, but it's tidy. Next is making sure that I get 7 hours of sleep or more, and being intentional with going to bed to hit that 3 a.m., 3:30 wake up call. That means going to bed at a reasonable time, at the latest 9 o'clock, but usually we're in bed by 7, which gives us time to spend time as a couple, maybe watch a show or two, slump a little, and make sure we're in bed and asleep. And then last is an activity for joy. These are the things I want to do daily: hobbies, passions, creativity, fun, step out of my comfort zone, do something for me. We have such busy days and we are so go, go, go. Trust me, I'm there too with you, that an activity for joy is something for you. I think I'm going to focus on my reading. I want to focus on maybe creative writing, maybe working on our Legos or doing something together that is fun, activities, game nights, something like that, that kind of just brings joy out of the craziness of the world, to kind of shut down, turn off your brain, and have fun at some point in the day, because we can't always be thinking about what's happening in the world. We can't always be go, go, go. And this gives you some time for joy and peace by yourself or with the people that you want to do it with. So this could be an hour with your friends. This could be an hour out at a hobby somewhere. This could be me just hanging out with my husband. Something that is just joyful for me. That gives me fulfillment, happiness, joy, all of those things. I want to do something like that every single day. And I think that is more than possible to have 30 minutes to an hour of an activity of joy for myself. Now, going into morning and night routines, in a way, I want to keep these very open, very fluid, not too structured, and just say that they need to be done every day. So the first thing is a walk at the gym or outside for 15 to 20 minutes yesterday, what did I do? I did 10 minutes at the gym and 10 minutes at the grocery store, where I paced up and down the entire place and made sure that it was 10 minutes of intentional walking. And this needs to be outside at least once every 5 days. As we're getting colder and I feel like I'm getting outside less, I want to make sure that our outside walk is outside at least once a week, because it's important to get that fresh air. Make sure that you are going outside, getting the sun for when it is out, and enjoying the morning. So doing a walk when the sun is rising, when you have the time to do it, is so enjoyable to me. So I'm pushing myself outside of my comfort zone to do that walk outside at least once to twice a week, but mostly just getting my steps in, because I'm gonna be getting lazy as it gets cold and really want to slump. And it's time to kind of keep that momentum going and creating that habit as, nope, you're gonna go and get dressed and get out. Next is journaling. This can be a brain dump, this can be gratitude, this can be just putting down your thoughts, feelings, and actions, whatever it is. I want you to make this your own if you decide to journal. So I'm not putting any structure around it. I think it's really important that we get back into journaling. I do have my 5-minute gratitude journal. I do want to do a little bit more than that, maybe just kind of talk about my day, what happened, what I'm planning, what I'm expecting. And that big part of this journaling session is to really think about what I'm grateful for, what has happened, and then really evaluate to plan. I want to start planning not only my days, my weeks, I want a time block, I want to have a better outline of my day, and knowing that I have less choices, but more structure. And I'm not saying that everything that I put on my time block or in my journal or in my plan has to be done, but having a set up plan is so important, because then I'm not thinking what is next. Oh, I don't really need to do that today. Really start pushing yourself to do the things that you say you're gonna do. Put yourself out there of like, okay, life happened, we need to make this change, but at the same time we need to do it tomorrow. It's a must do. Now it's on the top of the list, and just not falling off track of the things that you need to do or you want to do, and making sure that you must do those things to live a productive life, a happy life, and that you are showing up as your best self, because it's things that you want to do or you need to do that makes you who you want to become is so important. So walking, journaling, and planning are kind of all intertwined in the morning for me, because sometimes I plan at the gym while I'm walking. Sometimes I write in my phone as my journal and just kind of brain dump everything. So it's all going to kind of ebb and flow throughout the day, but getting it done at some point in the morning is so important to me. Now, nighttime is when I'm really slumping. I am not a night owl. I like to go to bed early. I like to lay in my bed early. And a big part of this is to push me to just make sure that I'm finishing off my night with intention and not just slumping, watching TV, hanging out on my phone, none of that. I think it's important to have 3 steps skincare. And I wrote on here, just do it no matter how tired. Keep it to the basics if need be. I do have like a 5 to 6 nighttime skincare, and that being said, I only want to get 3 done. I want to get cleanser, like a toner, and then just a basic layer of moisturizer. I think my skin gets so dry in the winter and I don't take care of it, and I'm so tired and I'm breaking out, and I just came from like hot summer, and then it gets cold here real quick and we have some ups and downs. Welcome to New England. I want to take care of my skin. I want to make sure that I'm not going to be wrinkly as I get older. I want to make sure that I have nice elastic skin and that I am taking care of myself. Next is a kitchen closeout. This is wiping down the counter, organizing the dishes for the next day, because I'm a morning dishes person, but if there's only a little, why not just get it done and make sure that our dishwasher's unloaded, that we have everything ready, and that there's no like cups or things around the house, and that we go through our mail that goes on our kitchen, that we make sure that our table is organized and cleaned so that if anyone else in our house wants to use it, it's basically cleaned up. So it's just going to be a basic closeout at the end of the night before you go to bed. And then lastly is prep my outfits. This is for any activities for the next day, work or workout, and I like to give myself options. So every day that I choose an option, I want to put a new option out in my main room area because this office is partly my closet, but I do have a hook out there for my workout outfits, and just having the options lets me have less choices for tomorrow. So for night, it's kind of just making sure that I stay on track, that I do some things that I've always wanted to do and stay on top of it and not push everything to the morning, that I kind of get off my butt and make sure that I'm prepping myself for the next day in the future. So for 75 days, I want to do all the morning activities, night activities, and the daily activities. And then, as I said, the weekly activities at least 10 times, because there's about 7 weeks from now till the new year. And that is my goal, to start the momentum now, create that structure within the 75 days so that I can miss a few days. That's okay, but I'm going to be consistent. I know what habits I need. I know the intentions I have behind it, and I'm going to start planning for this to be my purpose, this to be my why, and how I can succeed daily is knowing all of these things, understanding my areas of life, and understanding why these even matter to me. So I want to know what habits, routines, systems that you want to create momentum on, because it's important to know your areas of life, how you want to start taking action, become intentional, and create structure over the next 30, 60, or 75 days when you're seeing this. And I hope that you go back and look at my great lock-in and see how you can shed, start letting go, figuring out that audit so that you even know the path you're going to go on, because you're going to take an inventory on everything that's going on, what is bringing you joy, what is setting you back, and where you can plant those new seeds and make those changes so that you can create the momentum, create the structure, and plan for success. Discipline takes time, it takes authority, and that you need to be there for yourself. You need to be the one to hold yourself accountable. I can be here for you. That's what this community is here for. But if you don't know even what you want to work on, how you're going to achieve it, how are you ever going to say that in a few months in January that you'll be ready? If you start now, that gives you time to get ahead of everyone, learn, grow, evolve, reset, realign, and reinvent yourself. Because trust me, 2025 for me was something that was a time where I fell off track a lot, and I feel like I accomplished a lot changed, a lot happened, and I'm proud of myself, but there's still so much more to go. All of my areas of life need to be evolved in different ways. I'm not at that best self level, and I'm not saying that I need to get to that top tier to be happy and fulfilled, but I need to be at a place where I feel comfortable, I feel successful, and I feel like, yes, I can always grow more and push myself and evolve, but I need to get to the level where I feel content. I can tell you who I was 2 years ago was nowhere close to where I am today, but if I don't continuously create the momentum, find new structure, and plan my life for success, that I would never have challenges like this. I would usually fall off, and I feel like this challenge is a little bit different because I'm giving myself grace. I'm giving myself time to slack off and miss, but if you wait till January, you're going to be doing this reset, this realignment, and you're going to have to let it all go, do that audit, plan it all out within a few days, and that's not fair to you. You should be able to have the 30, 60 days for you to figure it out and evolve it and expand it and let some stuff go, because what I'm doing now is trial and erroring. How do I want to do those solo dates? How do I want to meal prep? How do I want to do that date night? When do I want to do my walk? How do I want to do this kitchen closeout? How do I want to do my activity for joy? How am I going to start tidying up my house so that it's easier every day? And what am I going to do, and what is that going to look like? And that's all so important, because if you start now, you'll have the consistency and the momentum and the success for you to show up as your best self in 2026. So I welcome you to this community. I welcome you to this challenge, and I want to support you along the way. So drop in the comments, DM me on Instagram, whatever it is for you that you feel comfortable sharing, and let's hold each other accountable. Let me know what challenge you're doing, how you're creating the momentum, what type of structure you are choosing for your lifestyle and your life, and let's bloom our own journeys. We are all on our own path, and you must believe in yourself and start building it, because you can bloom it, balance it, and become it with time if you set yourself up with success. So as always, I will see you guys soon. Bye guys.